Call hello Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, double honors to the elder apostles. Alright, salutations to the house of David, the 1/3 men, women, and children. Got a few articles for you today. And this article was dated last week, June 19th, okay? And it said, get ready for some extreme weather this week. And this was mainly in the southwestern part of the U.S., okay? And they had a major heat wave that was in effect till last week, Saturday. And with temperatures that were well beyond 100 degrees. I mean, look, if you see all around here, there's 100, Rachel, Alamo, 108, Caliente, 104, Overton, 118, Mesquite, 115, Death Valley, 125, okay? Those are dangerous levels, man. Those are, you bound to fuck around and catch a heat stroke. All right, it says, reading down, it says Arizona, Nevada, and Southern California are expected to see record high temperatures in the coming days. Well, this was last week, so it already happened. Temperatures could exceed 120 degrees Fahrenheit, raising concern about potential heat-related deaths. Last year, 130 people died from extreme heat in the city, the most in the last decade. Okay? If the temperature does exceed 120 degrees, that'd be the fourth time in the city's recorded history. Okay, NBC reported. Now, I'll even read. Well, see, it says it'll be the fourth time in history. Okay, and the most in the last decade. The most people that died in the last decade. Well, that's because the Most High is heating everything up. Everything is getting heated up, right? It says, what is behind this heat wave? It's impossible to single out one reason for this extreme weather, but climate scientists have predicted that such weather patterns will become more frequent as the climate heats up. Okay? There are clear signs that heat waves will tend to be longer and more intense as our climate warms. Well, you don't know what it is. Well, we'll tell you straight up. Well, we've been telling you, the Most High is heating things up. It's the Lord that creates the dark and the light, the good and the evil, peace and war. He's the one that's doing this. All right. So that was last week. Okay, this was June 19th. But then this one was the next day. Okay, it says the heat is so extreme it's affecting air travel. Okay, it's no surprise that it's hot in Phoenix, Arizona, but temperatures are now getting so extreme that it's too hot for planes to fly. Okay. So Monday it hit temperatures of 118, and it said it was expected to Tuesday to rise to 120. Okay, and the heat is so extreme that it grounds air travel. And I'll just skim through it because this is a short article as well. It says, why can't planes fly when it's hot? It has to do with the engines. As BBC News explains, at higher temperatures, air has a lower density. It is thinner. That lower air density reduces how much lift is generated on an aircraft's wings, a core principle in aeronautics. That in turn means the aircraft's engines needs to generate more thrust to get airborne. Okay? Airplanes that are larger are able to generate more thrust, so certain airlines are still operating. Okay, and it says still this kind of heat is startling. Okay, only 3 times in recorded history has a temperature hit 120 degrees or above, twice in 1990 and once in 95. Well, welcome to the last days. Okay, because the Most High is speeding everything up and raising up that temperature. Now here's the next article. And this article was actually this week, June 28th. Okay, the reason why I brought out those articles from last week is because of, they saying the heat wave until effect last week. But I mean, look, shit is crazy. It says it's so extremely hot that things are melting in Arizona. It's so hot right now, even for a state so familiar with sweltering heat. Last week, the temperatures forced dozens of flights to be canceled at Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport as the city suffered 120-degree weather. On Wednesday, the Weather Channel predicted a high of 109 degrees with zero chance of precipitation Friday could get as high as 112 degrees. Arizona isn't the only victim of the heat wave. Much of the Southwest has been torched as well. Oh, okay, so this was last week. But still just goes to show um what that what that extreme heat wave did, okay? To show just how hot it's been, people in Arizona are posting pictures on social media of stuff that they see that has melted, likely as a result of the extreme heat. Okay, so we got trash cans. That's how hot it is. Just straight up melted. Like to melt shit like that, you would have to torch it. But it's just so hot, 120 degrees. You imagine that? You know, who would want to be outside in that weather? Like especially these devils that can't handle heat. Look at the street signs melting. Mailboxes melting. Ceiling fans melting. All right. One Twitter user posted a picture of himself driving with mittens on to prevent burning his hands on the steering wheel. That's how crazy this heat is. It says the governor of Arizona declared a state of emergency last week to garner resources to keep residents safe and fight fires sparked by the heat. Okay? And officials are investigating about 12 deaths in the Phoenix metro area that could be tied to the heat. Okay? So, and then constantly, of course, because people are fucking dumb as hell, the American Red Cross website lists some useful tips on how to stay safe during a heat wave. Because obviously people don't have common fucking sense. Like it says, stay hydrated and drink plenty of water. Duh. You know, wear loose clothing or stay indoors and avoid strenuous exercise. Postpone outdoor games. Take frequent breaks. People need these constant reminders, man. But anyways, let me bring up the scripture. This is 2 Peter 3:10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. All right, and this is just the beginning. This is just heat waves. Okay, it's not even the heat waves from the ICBMs, and the people can't even handle that 120 degrees. Imagine thermonuclear fire. All right. With that being said, call hello Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Shalom.